Michelle, and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. Hope everyone is having a fabulous week so far. We are gearing up for some really cold, record-breaking weather here in Texas. They're calling it an Arctic blast that is going to be around Thursday through Sunday of this week. So please pray for us here in Texas. Back in February of 2021, we had historical snow, and our power grid is not set up for this type of weather here in Texas. So a lot of us are starting to panic shop for groceries, and hopefully we won't be bogged down with snow and ice for the next couple of days. I would love to have a white Christmas, but I would like to have power as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here weather-wise for Texas. But you guys, we have a lot of juicy royalty to get through, so sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. So the royal family is starting their Christmas celebrations. It has been announced that King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla are going to host their annual Christmas luncheon at Windsor Castle. Normally, Her Majesty the Queen would host her family and extended family at Buckingham Palace. They have not had an annual Christmas luncheon since 2019, right before the pandemic hit. So it has been announced that King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla will host their family and extended family at Windsor Castle this week. They are expected to have the Queen's descendants as well as Prince Margaret's children and grandchildren in attendance, along with the Kents and the Gloucesters. They have also announced that the royals will have their traditional Christmas this year at Sandringham, which they have not done since 2019. Buckingham Palace said in a brief statement, quote, "Their Majesties the King and the Queen Consort, accompanied by members of the royal family, will attend the morning service on Christmas Day at Sandringham Church on Sunday, the 25th December 2022. It is thought that all members of Charles's family as well as Camilla's family will be in attendance, and it has been announced that Prince Louis will make a special appearance. A lot of people were missing him. He hasn't been seen since the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, so I'm really excited to see little Louis coming out to celebrate Christmas with the rest of the royal family. So Queen Consort Camilla unfortunately has been embroiled in yet another scandal, this time over a private lunch that she hosted that was attended by quite a few people such as Jeremy Clarkson, Piers Morgan, Dom Judi Dench, Dom Maggie Smith, and Claudia Winkleman. Now, this event was a private luncheon that was held on the 14th of December. The problem is this happened one day before Harry and Meghan had released their second half of their Netflix docuseries, where the following day on Friday, December 16th, Jeremy Clarkson wrote a column for The Sun where he published a very horrible story on Meghan Markle. Now, I'm not a fan of Meghan Markle by any stretch of the imagination. However, I do draw a line. I don't call people horrible names. And what he wrote in this article is absolutely horrific. He literally has proven the point that Meghan Markle and the Sussex squad have been saying. It was very misogynistic, and it was quite frankly disgusting. Now, he wrote this article saying that he, quote, feels rather sorry for Harry, who he had described as a glove puppet. His feelings about Meghan were a different story. He literally said, quote, I hate her, not like I hate Nicola Sturgeon or Rose West. I hate her on a cellular level. The TV presenter went on to claim that he's, quote, unable to sleep because he's grinding my teeth and dreaming of the day she is made to parade naked through the streets of every town in Britain while the crowds chant shame and throw lumps of excrement at her. He added, everyone who's my age thinks the same way. Well, now you can understand that people were appalled at what he was saying. Apparently, he was making some kind of attempt to be funny, possibly a Game of Thrones reference. Now, I don't watch the show Game of Thrones, but this was absolutely horrible. It received over 12,000 complaints. And a lot of people now are pretty much saying, see, you just proven the point about these horrific people that are now, in company with Camilla, the company that you keep, throwing horrible insults at Meghan Markle, literally confirming everything the Harry and Meghan docuseries is saying between the institution and the media over in the UK. So again, it's like, why would he publish such a story during this time when the royal family and the media are under major attack? He literally just handed them a Christmas present. It's disgusting. Another person said, quote, Jeremy Clarkson, who Camilla was lunching with this week along with Piers Morgan, and people still doubt what Harry and Meghan were saying in the docuseries. Author Omid Scooby-Doo tweeted, quote, that would be the same Jeremy Clarkson who was at a private Christmas party with Camilla, the Queen Consort, earlier this week, alongside guests including a Daily Mail editor and Piers Morgan. Now, the presenter's own daughter has come out publicly and criticized her father for his column. Emily Clarkson took to her Instagram stories and said in a statement, quote, my views are and have always been clear when it comes to misogyny, bullying, and the treatment of women by the media. I want to make it very clear that I stand against everything that my dad wrote about Meghan Markle, and I remain standing in support of those that are targeted with online hatred. Well, now Jeremy Clarkson has come out and apologized. He said he was horrified after causing so much hurt in the column that he wrote about the Sun. He did request that the Sun remove his article, and he tweeted on Monday, quote, oh dear, I'd rather put my foot in it. So again, I don't think he meant anything horrible or vile, but it came out awful. And it was right around the time of Camilla's Lunch, the docuseries. And again, they're feeding into that narrative of painting Meghan and Harry out to be innocent victims. So this is just horrific timing, and I feel extremely bad for Camilla because she does not deserve to be dragged into this awful mess. Well, according to inside sources from the Sunday Times, Harry's memoir, Spare, is literally going to be more incendiary than the Oprah Winfrey interview and the Netflix docuseries. Now we know that Prince Harry's memoir is dropping in just a couple of weeks on January 10th, and apparently it is the complete opposite of chill. You know how Harry is just the minister of peace and healing. Now, Harry hasn't given any indication that he's going to be taking swipes at the royals, but according to some new information, it's pretty clear Harry's about to drop major royal tea. Now, according to the newspaper, Harry's autobiography includes claims about the monarchy that are way more incredulous than the docuseries and Oprah Winfrey combined. A source that is close to these Sussexes also noted that after Harry's book, he and Meghan will, quote, focus on their service work instead of anything personal, and they're looking forward to people being interested in what they're doing beyond the drama. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now, according to that same source, they told Page 6 there's a lot of new stories in there about the past that Harry has not spoken about before regarding his childhood. Now, there are some content in there that should make his family nervous. Oh boy, as if we haven't had enough of this, right? We all know he's going to drag Charles and Camilla. He's going to bring up the marriage of his parents, which he doesn't really know that much about considering he was a 12-year-old child. It's going to be Daddy Dearest. You know, you didn't buy me the popsicle or the puppy or didn't ride bikes with me when I was a child. You're literally 38 years old, Harry. When are you going to stop? When are you going to stop berating your family and dragging them through the mud for money? When is it going to be enough? You know, people are always saying, well, they're just speaking their truth. They just want to be heard. They haven't stopped talking since 2020, speaking their truth, wanting to be heard. Okay, let's see. They talked on the Oprah Winfrey interview. They talked on the Me You Can't See. They talked in Meghan's Variety and Cut magazine interviews. They talked on Meghan's podcast. They dropped a 6-part Netflix docuseries, and now he's writing a book. I think he's gotten the memo out. He's an unhappy camper, and his life wasn't perfect. Well, cry me a freaking river, Harry. I'm sorry, my little violin is in the shop. You know, I have news for you. You're almost 40 years old, and you are a father of 2 children. Let it go. So your father wasn't perfect. Your mommy wasn't perfect. Let it go. Parents are not perfect people. So the fact that you're dragging out your childhood drama for the world to see on the world stage for money. This is not about healing. This is not about, I just want to be heard. No, Harry, this is about lining your pockets. You know, if you want to get your feelings out, go to a counselor. Get a journal, do some of that yoga and meditation that you're constantly telling people to do. You work for BetterUp. You're trying to tell me you can't get a free counseling session? But we all know he's going to pretty much call King Charles Daddy Dearest, and Camilla is going to be Cruella de Vil, and his mother is going to be a saint. I mean, this was literally 25 plus years ago, Harry. You're almost 40. When are you going to let it go? You know, no one has a perfect childhood. But if you keep dragging and blaming other people for your issues, you have to get to a point where you need to let it go. I think it's hilarious how they're like, well, after we finish dragging the family, we collect all of the checks. We then want to sit down and say kumbaya and have everyone tell us how wonderful we are. We're such humanitarians, and we're going to come together for world peace and the greater good, but not until we cash the checks. So there was a quote that Harry made during the docuseries. It says, quote, "And I've had to make peace with the fact that probably never going to get a genuine accountability or a genuine apology. My wife and I were moving on." Really? You're moving on because you haven't moved on for almost 3 years now. We're focused on what's coming next. Okay, again, you could have done that at any time. The minute you got on that freedom flight, son, was the time for a new beginning. It was a fresh start. You could have started that time. You should have just left your baggage back in the UK, and that freedom flight should have been a new beginning where you don't bring out your dirty laundry with your family to the public. You could have left it there. And this whole 2.5 years could have just been about your humanitarian work. It could have been about your charity. It could have been about your children and your new life in Montecito. But you guys have continued to drag up the past and are slamming your family and Meghan's family for profit. And then you have the audacity to turn around and accept all of these BS awards because y'all are such humanitarians and you're just about kindness and forgiveness and healing and mental health. But yet you turn around and you are bullying people, you are slandering people for money. And the fact that people actually believe that you're doing this out of the goodness of your heart, I don't get it. Because good people don't walk around slamming people for money. and then turn around and say, but look at all the positive charity that we're doing, but make sure you buy my book and listen to our podcast and watch our docu-series because we need money, but we're just about healing and forgiveness, but we're not going to forgive her daddy, but everyone else we're going to forgive. And we want forgiveness as well. They're like the hypocrite humanitarians. I don't understand. All of this negativity and drama is overshadowing any good deeds that you've ever done because it makes you look unauthentic and, quite frankly, not like good people. It's bizarre. I don't understand this hypocrite humanitarianism, and then they're throwing in making millions upon millions of dollars on top of that. I don't get it. But people believe them and think that they're humanitarian heroes, but they're hypocrites. And it's getting even worse now with my next story. So following on the hypocritical humanitarian train, Netflix dropped a new trailer today for Harry and Meghan's upcoming documentary, Inspiring Leaders, featuring Nelson Mandela, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and Greta Thunberg. Now, again, Harry is jumping on the bandwagon. If it's not his mummy, Princess Diana, they're literally grabbing onto Nelson Mandela. They like to, put themselves in the same space, the same sentence as Nelson Mandela constantly because they're trying to build themselves up to be these kumbaya leaders of positive change, these activists, and they align themselves with Princess Diana and Nelson Mandela. If you've noticed, they're constantly quoting them. Meghan makes up stories about the people in South Africa dancing in the streets when she married Prince Harry, just like when Nelson Mandela was freed from prison, which we all know was a little bit of a porcupine lie, or how Harry's constantly comparing Meghan to his mom, Princess Diana. It's like, can these two let Nelson Mandela and Princess Diana rest? They're always piggybacking and jumping off their back, trying to get some of their fairy dust and magic on to them so people will literally consider them the same. But you're not. You are not Nelson Mandela and you are not Princess Diana. Now, Netflix released the trailer of the new documentary series that's hosted by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, where they celebrate the inspirational leaders throughout history. Now, the couple are seen opening up this series where they're, of course, quoting Nelson Mandela. That's right, because they just can't let the man rest, can they? They always have to use a quote from him, whatever. So apparently Harry's saying that the whole documentary is inspired by Nelson Mandela. He then quotes the former South African president and says, quote, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we've lived." And then Meghan comes in and finishes the quote, "It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. It's about people who have made brave choices." And Meghan adds, "to fight for change and to become leaders." In my opinion, Meghan is literally trying to build herself up for the woman who's bringing change to the UK, bringing change to the monarchy, fighting institutional racism. You guys, they're literally building themselves up for this new role of activism, and people are buying it. It's the hypocritical humanitarian. This is very dangerous, how Meghan and Harry are setting themselves up to be superheroes fighting against the bad, evil institution of the monarchy. So I think 2023, my prediction about how Meghan is going to go after the royal family, the institutional monarchy, and the whole race card, she's going to play that to the hilt because that's literally the only thing that she has to offer. So this new documentary is going to drop on December 31st. So apparently they have been working on this docuseries for quite a while. This was probably one of their first projects that they ever did. So it's interesting that they're dropping it now, at the end of 2022. Again, they promised that 2022 is the year of visibility. So they're doing all this stuff, and then next year it's the year of reconciliation, but I don't know if that's going to happen. It's just very interesting to me how these two just don't embarrass, and how they have no gall, they have no class, they have no morals, but somehow they have fans. And people are applauding them, calling her brave and bravo for crusading against the monarchy and for change. So this is all I have for you guys today. What do you guys think of Harry and Meghan's hypocritical humanitarian gravy train? How they spent all this time making money, trashing their families, and are now turning themselves into martyrs and activists for positive change. Leave me your comments, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here on my channel. Please make sure that you guys subscribe, like my channel, and set the notification bell. I've had many people tell me they're not seeing my videos, they're not being notified, and quite a few people have been unsubscribed from my channel. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I feel like my videos are not being seen. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel. You hit the notification bell. That way you can be notified every time I have a new video. I am working on some more videos for my other channel, Royal Daily Tea History and Fashion, that will be coming up this week. So stay tuned for that. As always, thank y'all for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.